Hello, everyone. This is the Cricket Forum, your place for the latest news, views, rumors, and gossips in the world of cricket. Following yet another defeat by the West Indies team by New Zealand at Sabina Park yesterday by 13 runs, although in the end the match was very exciting and there was even clapping in the stands. The 500 or so spectators that were there, they clapped the performance, although West Indies lost, because that flurry of boundaries by Shepherd and Smith in the end gave them some excitement, brought some excitement to the venue, but brought some excitement to the spectators. So although they lost, there was still a bit of excitement. But the thing that keeps on lingering is that a number of persons continue all over the region, all West Indian supporters, many of them continue to ask what is happening to the team. Why this team that has won 2 World Cups so far is looking as Shamber and a Bramber team right now. People have been calling for the resignation of Phil Simmonds for a number of years. From last year World Cup or even before that, they have been called for the resignation of Phil Simmonds. The general consensus is he should coach the red ball team and leave the white ball team to someone else because he's not getting the success that one expects from a West Indian coach in the white ball team. Now, people are even saying that, are even blaming Andre Russell and say, why is Andre Russell not representing the West Indies? Andre Russell have made himself unavailable for selection because he rather to play T20 franchise cricket all over the world. And that's why I've been saying for a month now that the ICC should scrap international T20. Yes, T20 cricket should be limited to World Cup and franchise-based competition. When the World Cup comes about, just like in football, you pick your national team from the clubs. It's the same thing. You pick your national teams from these franchises that are playing, your players that are playing franchise cricket all over the world. So it even had strength to my argument that the time has come now for us to scrap T20 internationals. Originally, I asked for the scrapping of T20 internationals because I thought that it will save one-day international cricket. But it's clear now for us to bring structure and organization and stability and to really know where the cricket is going. It now becomes clearer to me every day that we need to scrap T20 internationals, and T20 games should be limited to franchise competition. Because look, in the next 5 to 6 months, there'll be a mad scrap for players because you will have 4. One, the Big Bash in Australia will be played starting now the 15th of December. They are going to push back the date. Usually the Big Bash would start at the beginning of December. This year, it is starting the 15th of December and it will end in February. So it will overlap in January. In January, Australia will have their franchise cricket competition going on. The UAE will have their franchise cricket competition going on. And towards the back end of January, the Bangladesh Premier League will start. It will be a mad scrap for players. Why the ICC continues to play international T20 cricket is beyond me. Because this is one of the first steps forward to clear a congested calendar, and it is also one of the steps to save ODI cricket. I'm not saying to scrap the T20 World Cup. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying scrap bilateral T20 series between nations and allow franchise cricket to be the dominant T20 form. Now, going back to the West Indies, with the unavailable of Russell, and you cannot blame the man. You cannot blame the man. a T20 West Indies white ball contract, he's probably going to get about 100,000 for the year. That will be his retainer. He get $2,500 when he plays a T20 match for the West Indies. $2,500. Now he's playing in the 100 in England. England is playing. His contract for that 4 to 6 weeks of cricket is £150,000. £150,000, you know, for 4 to 6 weeks of cricket. He already signed up, I think, for the International T20 League, that is the UAE League. He already signed up, and he's expected to get about $500,000 US for that league. So I'm saying, how does a man make the choice to play for West Indies when his international cricket career is so short, 10 to 15 years, and he has to maximize his earnings? There is life after cricket. So you cannot blame a man for maximizing his earnings and choose to play franchise cricket instead of playing for West Indies. You cannot blame that man. When it comes to Sunil Narine, I read an article where Sunil Narine said that he is willing to represent the West Indies. He wants to represent the West Indies. So Simmonds saying that he's not going to beg people to represent the West Indies, it maybe Simmonds need to beg. Do you remember Alex Ferguson begging Wayne Rooney to play for Manchester United? The great Alex Ferguson. Some people saw him as the greatest coach of all time. I, as a Manchester United fan, may also think that he's the greatest coach of all time. And he cried. He cried and begged Wayne Rooney to play for Manchester United. Sir Alex Ferguson cried to get Wayne Rooney to represent Manchester United. Simmonds is a little West Indies cricket team coach. Nobody hardly knows Simmonds. It is said that 10% of all football fans throughout the world support Manchester United. And the great Alex Ferguson cried. So what is Simmonds to beg Narine to come and play? What is Simmonds? Who is Simmonds for not to beg cricketers to come and represent West Indies? So if you have to beg Simmonds, beg. Because clearly your job is on the line, unless there's something going on that we don't know, that you cannot be fired. Because if you take this job seriously, you need to start beg people to come and play for the West Indies. You need to start beg people like Andre Russell, Sunil Narine. You need to work out the thing with Evan Lewis. Because clearly, Evan Lewis, up to the time when he stopped representing the West Indies in T20 International, he was one of our best players. So what is it about you that you are afraid to beg? Principals in schools all over Jamaica, all over the West Indies are the leading beggars. And you're just merely the coach of the West Indies. Unless you think that you cannot lose your job. Unless you think that no one can remove you from that position. But what happened when we vote out Skerritt? What happened when Skerritt vote out and you have to, if you have any pride in your job at all, you have to beg these guys to come and play. You have to manage people. And it's not so much about begging, you know. Sometimes it's not so much about begging. It's about managing the different egos. And as the head coach, that's your responsibility to manage the different egos. So if you have to beg Evan Lewis, if you have to beg Andre Russell, beg them. Because this team continues to lose. It continues to lose. On a year watch, you are the coach. So you probably need to come off your high ass and beg these guys to play. Try and work out something with them, Simmonds. It can't be that you are up there and you are bigger than begging. No, you are not good. You cannot manage people. What you want to do? I once heard that you're in this job to recruit players for your agent. That's what I heard. I don't know true is that. I hope that is not so. And I'm not accusing you of being a recruiter for your agent. But what I'm saying, if you need to beg these cricketers to play for the West Indies, you need to beg them. Because in all honesty, Simmonds, I think our West Indies top six with Evan Lewis, Brandon King, Kyle Myers, Hetmeyer, Pooran, Powell, I think that's a good top six. Although Powell, it's clear that Powell cannot bat the leg spin. It's clear. Although he made 100 against England last year in the Caribbean, or was it earlier this year, and boast about it and say that he had conquered leg spin, it is clear. In the second match at Lauderhill, and I was there at Lauderhill, and when Powell, I don't remember Powell and who was batting, and the general discussion was that if these two can take it to the 15th over, then West Indies may have a chance. That was in the 10th or 11th over. Then we saw Bishnoi get the ball. And I turned to a lady and said, oh, Bishnoi play. Powell dead now. He undried the first ball for 4 because it overpitched. But I think 2 or 3 balls later, he was back on his way. And you, as a coach, cannot teach your batsman to pick the googly from the leg break or the flipper, and you are saying that you are not begging? Can you, Simmonds, pick the leg break? Can you pick the googly? Can you pick the flipper? Can you pick the skidder? I'm asking you these questions, Simmonds. Demonstrate to the West Indies public that you can pick the googly. Tell us what you are telling your batsmen, how to pick the googly, how to pick the flipper. We want you to tell us, Simmonds. We are asking you to come forward and tell the Caribbean public how to pick the googly when the leg spinner is playing. And you are talking, you are not begging. And your team cannot win a match. And there are players like Russell and Narine and Lewis who have won match for the West Indies in the past. And because of ego, because of your inability at man management, you are saying that you are not going to beg these players to play? You should be fired. You should be fired, Simmonds. I'm laying the blame for the poor performance of the West Indies cricket team, white ball cricket team, squarely at the feet of the coach, and he should be fired. If he's not prepared to beg the better players in the West Indies to come and play, he does not deserve his job. He's too cocky. And we cannot have such a cocky coach of a losing team. The coach of a losing team must be humble. Must be. You're not begging. And the great Alex Ferguson, who won 2 Champions League, numerous Premier League, numerous FA Cup, cried and begged Wayne Rooney to play for Manchester United. And you, Phil Simmonds, a losing coach? Yes, you are a losing coach, and you are saying that you are not begging the best players to play for the West Indies? Come off your high horse. You are not good enough to say those things. You are not good enough when you cannot teach a man to pick the googly, and you are saying that you are not begging the best players. And it's still a mystery because Narine said that he's available. Narine said he's available. So what's the discussion has been with Narine? What's the discussion is with Evelyn Lewis? Is it true that some players have said that Evelyn Lewis, and those players are not playing now, that Evelyn Lewis will not play for West Indies again? And that because you are so close to those players and those players are your friend, is it true? I'm just asking the question. I'm not alleging anything. I'm asking the question. Is it true, Simmonds? Is it true? You know, one of the things that was going the rounds among spectators at Lauderhill is that the West Indies should stop allowing spouse to come with the players. You know, I heard a lady from Trinidad. She was from Trinidad, and she's probably well known. I heard she singled out Pooran in particular and said that Pooran wife requires too much attention. That's what I'm hearing. That Pooran wife requires too much attention. And she tried to compare it with Pollard wife and said that Pollard wife managing Pollard, take care of things. But Pooran wife, Pooran has to be taking care of her on tour while still taking care of the West Indies business. So that's the argument going around. The argument is that, well, let me put my point of view. I don't know if it hampered performance. But a number of persons in those stands were saying that this is hampering the West Indies team performance since the West Indies, since CWI have allowed the spouses to be there with the players. And they're saying that these things are causing problems for the players. Mark you, the team was losing even before this. And people will always come up with reasons why the team is losing. So I'm asking the question, what do you think? Put a comment, write a comment in the comment section and tell me what you think. Please remember to slash a like on the video, share and subscribe, because we'll always bring you the latest gossips, news, rumors in the world of cricket. Now, tomorrow I'll be going back to Savannah Park, and I will be giving you a feel of the atmosphere and so on. So tune in to my live blog tomorrow. So please subscribe, slash a like on the video, and please tell me, what do you think? Should Simmonds resign? Should Simmonds beg the better players to play? Should the West Indies board allow the spouses of the players to be with them as they travel around the world? Slash a like on the video, share and subscribe, and put a comment. Make your comment. I want to hear from you. Answer those 3 questions for me, please. Should Simmonds resign as West Indies white ball coach? Should Simmonds, if he doesn't resign, should he beg the better players to come and play for the West Indies? Should the ICC scrap T20 international cricket? Should the West Indies allow the spouses of the players to travel with them around the world? What do you think? Please leave a comment in the comment section. Slash a like on the video, share and subscribe. Until next time, this is Carlton Burns, and God bless and thank you for tuning in to the Cricket Forum.